Hey there, beautiful soul. How are you? I hope all is well and everything is absolutely amazing on your end. I'm glad to have you here and happy as well that you found your light in darkness. I'm grateful as well as humbled for being able to help you and assist you on your journey. So allow me to and take my gratitude for being here and sending me your beautiful loving energy. Okay, so let's begin with today's reading without any more delays. In today's reading, I'm seeing that if your counterpart is kind of threatened by you, by your independence or your empowerment, and with this attitude they try to return back in your life, but with bringing forth certain conditions or terms, the guidance here from the source, from your creator, is that you set firm and strict boundaries with them and clearly tell them that this is not you are going to settle down for, and this is not something which aligns with your truths and values. By that I mean to say, if for whatever reason your counterpart wishes or forces you to go back to your old ways of living and being because this new you is threatening them, because again it is challenging them to remove that layer of toxic masculinity, ego, this need to have control and dominance over their woman or over women in general. They're finding it difficult to let go of all that, and this needs to change. You're getting my point? That is why if they come back in your life but with the same attitude, you are suggested and advised to peacefully and politely tell them that, if needed strictly as well, that you won't settle down for anything like that, and it's a clear no from your side. This also goes for those who are dealing with a soul counterpart who thinks that you should compromise with whatever they are doing or believe to be true about your soul connection, and in whatever shape or form they believe is right to deal with it, which involves keeping touch with the third party, keeping terms with the third party or third party people, especially if they had relationship with this person, whether it was a romantic, sexual or casual connection. It is supposed to come to an end. Okay, divine judgment says that it is supposed to come to a complete end. What I'm trying to say here is that it would be a complete disrespect and disregard for you as well as your soul connection if your counterpart is, for whatever reason, thinks and believes that you should compromise with your worth and value or your standard, where you believe and expect complete absence of any third person's energy in between you and your soul counterpart. Okay, this is not acceptable and you shouldn't tolerate any of this. If they come back around, or if they are trying to force this belief or this judgment of theirs, which is not coming from source, onto you, you should by all means, in all ways, firmly and strictly tell them and communicate with them that this is not something which is right, and you wouldn't tolerate any of this, you wouldn't accept any of it, and be sure and confident about not letting them with this attitude in your life, not entertaining them in any way, shape or form if they're acting and behaving in this attitude. Okay, they may have ended up with the third party, but I'm seeing here that for some reason they still have this attitude of keeping terms with the third party, whether it be related to having communication, work associations, or just anything. They're trying to label as only friendship, not allowed. Just not allowed, because this third person, whoever it was filled with extremely negative intentions towards you as well as your soul connection. I'm seeing that, and I'm seeing that this person is still as he or she was. The third person or the karmic person doesn't wish well towards you or your soul connection. If this person's energy or presence would be allowed, then this person is again going to try to poison your connection by his or her manipulative tricks, tactics, or this cunning attitude, evil intentions. Getting my point? That is why it is supposed to come to a complete end, where there is no hope left of any kind of reunion, where there is no friendship, nothing at all in between your soul counterpart and the third person, especially if they were in any kind of romantic, casual, or sexual relationship with. I'm not saying that you're supposed to reunite with your soul counterpart if they were with someone else in this way, shape, or form. What I'm trying to say here is that if you wish to, then you must set some strict boundaries and standards for yourself, and make sure that you won't compromise with any of it. Because I'm seeing here that it's because your soul counterpart is finding it very, very challenging to break free from their old patterns and old ways of living and being. They may try to manipulate you or trick you into believing that it's okay to let go of this new you that you've transformed yourself into and resort back to your old ways of living and being. They find easy to manipulate, dominate, and dictate. Please listen to this once again. Are you able to find the deeper purpose, the bigger purpose behind the changes that are taking place? And as well behind the suggestion and this guidance that's coming forth for you. There's a reason why Divine is suggesting you to remain patient as well as distant from your soul counterpart if they are feeling threatened by you, your independence, or your empowerment, or anything which they feel like they cannot control, dominate, or bring down as per their needs to actually boost their ego and arrogance. You have to understand all of these things. Divine is clearly giving a straightforward answer that you must not accept anything like this if this happens. Okay? On the other hand, I'm seeing that when you are going to set these kind of strict boundaries with them, they'll be forced to change for good. They'll be forced to end any and all kind of toxic attitudes, habits, or behaviors they succumb to or are accustomed with. Getting my point? They'll be forced to end any and all toxic associations, connections, or relationships they have right now or are trying to maintain because they want to have control, or they think that they need to be in control in order to kind of manage everything, or just, maintain that masculinity, which actually is not healthy masculinity here. Dominating, controlling, ruling, trying to dictate, force, or impose your views, values, and your needs over others is not what you call as a divine masculine or healthy masculinity. That is why you have these changes coming. That is why you've got this connection, so that you as well as your soul counterpart can transform for the better and understand the true meaning behind the balance between the feminine and the masculine, and what actually is a divine feminine and a divine masculine. Getting my point? Here I'm seeing that your counterpart may try to force you or trick you into believing that it's okay or kind of better to resort back to old ways of living and being just because you want to reunite with them. No, not at all. This is kind of a test for you as well, so be careful. If you see that they are still in touch with the third party, if you see that they're still being back and forth with the third party, stay away from them and maintain strict boundaries with them. Make sure that you are giving off this energy that you're not interested in any kind of reunion with them if they are going to act and behave in this way. This is actually going to force them into having a realization or an aha moment that they may lose you for good if they won't change for the better, which is what is going to bring an end to this toxic masculinity they are operating out of, just because they're finding it very, very difficult to let go of their old ways of living and being. And this is also being triggered because they are seeing you in your power. They are seeing that they are seeing how independent you've become. They are seeing how important you've become, and they're also sensing that you won't take shit. You won't tolerate any kind of abuse, any kind of manipulation or anything like that. And this is something you have to maintain in order to bring balance and harmony in your soul connection, where your counterpart's ego can have a death. It's all about having an ego death. Until and unless this ego death doesn't happen, they won't let go or won't be able to let go of their old ways of living and being, which do not serve anyone, which are not going to serve anyone in the long run, especially your soul connection. If God wants to bring you back together, but for good reasons. That is why these changes are coming. That is why you're receiving this guidance and these insights, for you to have a clear understanding of what it is you should be doing and what it is you shouldn't be doing. So be very, very careful if you receive any kind of communication, or if you can clearly see that your soul counterpart is threatened by you or is kind of feeling insecure because they are not able to have control, or because you're showing off as if you're okay and fine being alone without them. It's fine. Give it time, because it's just not the right time for you and your soul counterpart to be together if they are feeling threatened by you and not at peace seeing you grow, evolve and transform for the good. Definitely they have something here to learn, and which is about this beautiful change taking place, which is about this ego death that needs to take place on their end. And if you continue to maintain these boundaries, these standards, this ego death is going to take place. Okay, so make sure that you're not entertaining them if they're coming back around with ego, arrogance, pride, or if they try to impose these this attitude onto you just because they show their interest in reuniting with you, or just because they bring forth an offer of reuniting. Make sure that you're not giving into temptation and you're not standing on shaky foundations, because it's going to be another test for you about how much have you learned and how much are you going to implement those lessons in your life for other people to see and learn from you. Getting my point? So this is what this whole reading is suggesting about. First thing, you are not going to tolerate any third person's presence, even if it means so-called friendships. Not allowed. Second thing, you won't tolerate your counterpart's manipulative, cunning, dominating, controlling attitude or behavior towards you, just because they don't want to change and they find it difficult or are thinking of it as unnecessary or damaging in their own sense. They need to go through a ego death, and that is something which is going to resolve all of these issues. It is going to happen because your counterpart is going to get forced to reflect over all of these issues and think through all the possible outcomes and scenarios which might take place if they won't change for good and better, if they won't allow this transformation to happen. Getting my point? So continue with your empowerment, continue with your transformation, continue to set standards and strict boundaries, and continue to be yourself. Continue to remain true to your own self, and do not descend for anyone, not even for your soul counterpart. It is needed for them to kind of feel threatened by you, because that is something which is going to trigger this ego death in them and somewhere instill this fear in them, which is going to lead them towards a progressive positive change, that if they won't make these changes, they're going to lose something extremely valuable, as well as they're going to bring disasters in their life. That is why these changes are needed. I hope you're getting the whole point about this reading now. Okay, so the overall guidance is that be patient and let your soul counterpart learn these lessons by going within and allowing themselves to have another perspective over this whole situation. They'll be forced one way or the other to end any kind of negativity, toxicity, toxic connections, associations, or anything which brings in the element of evil energy, or this energy which was not serving you or them in the past. Getting my point? Which includes third-party associations and connections where the people involved were bringing in their negative energy in both of your lives. Okay? I hope you're getting the point loud and clear right now. This reading is all about not jumping into anything that piques your interest right away. This reading is all about remaining patient, calm, collected, and balanced, as well as maintaining boundaries and standards for the highest good of all involved, so that what doesn't serve anyone here can end and a new beginning can take place. I'm also seeing here that the third person, the third party, whoever he or she was, for many of you it was a woman, this lady is still not taking no for an answer, but after some point of time, when she's going to see that your counterpart is evolving and growing, she may stop doing all her drama and nonsense on her own. Because somewhere when you are going to maintain these strict boundaries and standards, your counterpart is going to have this realization that they need to end all of this. And once they let go of entertaining this person, after some point of time, even she is going to give up on pursuing them or persisting in this attempt to chase them or control them or have them in her life. Getting my point? He or she actually may as well have this realization or aha moment that it's better to just stay away and end all of this and move on in their own life. Getting my point? But it will only happen when you maintain strict boundaries with your soul counterpart and give them clear answers that you won't tolerate any of this, any of the nonsense coming from them or anyone else, which involves presence of these people in their life. Once you make this clear to your soul counterpart, they are going to realize the kind of mistakes they've made, and they're also going to get forced to change for the better, which is again somewhere assist this third party as well in having a realization or just this conclusion that it's better to move on and not waste his or her time in this connection, because it won't go anywhere. Okay? Once he or she is going to stop receiving whatever he or she was receiving, there's going to be no point in persisting or chasing your soul counterpart, because they are going to end giving any kind of energy, attention, affection, or even material resources or means to this person once they hit this realization or receive this aha moment that if they won't make these changes, they're going to lose you. And your withdrawal, your boundaries are going to force them to have this realization, or are just going to trigger them to have these realizations or aha moments, which are going to lead them away from darkness and towards light. That's how it's all going to work. So again, be patient and observe before jumping onto anything. Do not get tempted just because they come up with this union candy or reunion candy. No, you have to look at the higher purpose. You have to look at the lessons as well as tests to have a successful union and a permanent reunion, which is going to be healthy for all involved and not something which is going to repeat the same old patterns and then bring in another painful ending for you. Getting my point? So that's all. This was your reading. I hope you enjoyed listening to me and this brought you the clarity you were seeking and were hoping to get. If so, do let me know how you felt in the comment section below. Feel free to hit the like button and do subscribe to our channel for more such content to be readily available for all of you on a regular basis. Okay? With that being said, do not hesitate to follow through with the link given in the description box below if your heart says so. That's all. I'll be back sooner than later. Till then, take care of yourself and your loved ones. Bye-bye.